Bring it ready to rumble.
Game 3 of the Phil Cox Memorial Holiday Tournament pits two Class 4A teams with aspirations of deep postseason runs come March as the 4-1 Portage Indians out of Northwest Indiana take on the 4-2 Plainfield Quakers from Metro Indianapolis. And that matchup is next right here on the ISC Sports Network. We welcome you back in to the Memorial Gym in downtown Kokomo. Rob Brown alongside Jim Leisure with you here for the next two games of this six-day Day 1 extravaganza. And this is a good matchup here between two teams with talented rosters, Jim. Some have said this is the best of the four first-round matchups. This is the most even, best matchup of the day. Really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, if you just look at the records and you go, now normally this tournament seems like there's always a handful of marquee players, but it's also a bunch of teams that are, 5-0, 5-1, and not necessarily the case. I agree with you. This is probably the two most evenly matched teams.
Well, it's double-figure scores up and down both of these rosters, but as you take a look, maybe a key to today's matchup, Jim, is a player that will not be playing. We got word prior to today's game that Sam Wellman, one of the keys for this Portage team, one of the Wellman twins bound for Bethel College next year, is Sam Wellman will not be with the team today due to an illness.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm looking at the roster here. Portage has four seniors. Three of them start. So you're going to look to those seniors. You're going to look for that experienced kids to say, look, we have to make up just a little bit. Every one of us has to play just a little bit better. He's not here. That's not going to change. All right, so look, we got to figure out how to win without him.
Well, both of these teams coming in off of what is their largest wins of the season. Portage winning by 27 points on Saturday at home over Kankakee Valley. Plainfield winning by 25 on the road on Friday night in a conference win over Perry Meridian. The Portage starters being introduced. Portage in the traveling reds this afternoon. White numerals, white lettering trimmed in black. Two double-figure scorers are in uniform today for Portage, led by Sam Wellman's twin brother Michael, who is bound for Grace College, averaging 15 points per game, alongside Garrett Clark, averaging 14 points per game. Clark coming off a career-high 31 points in that Kankakee Valley win. Clark headed for the Air Force Academy next season. And we turn our attention to Plainfield in the home white uniforms today, the home team on the scoreboard, and the red lettering and numerals. Two double-figure scores for Plainfield. Noah Smith, one of them, and you see the lanky Noah Smith, 6'8". He's a junior getting all sorts of attention, Jim, from Division I schools across the Midwest.
Yeah, no surprise there. Again, I'm excited to see him play. That's the best thing about these classics, these holiday tournaments, is you get to see kids from all over the state that maybe you haven't seen yet.
Well, and the other double-figure scorer being introduced, the sophomore Harper Baker Lands. There you see him fist-pounding his teammates. All he has done in his last two games is score 57 points, 24 points in the win over Perry Meridian, 33 in the game before that over Martinsville. The two head coaches, Brian Klaus in his fourth season at Portage, 50-28. The Portage alum, 94 grad, Andy Weaver on the other bench in his 13th season at Plainfield, 162 wins to his credit. Veteran officiating crew, as we always get in this Plainfield tournament. Shane McConaughey, the crew chief, working alongside the veteran Bill Forehand and Cameron Fletcher. Happy you're with us, and Plainfield wins the tap. We're underway. Landon Gilliatt handling the point guard chores for Plainfield, and the clock did not start quickly enough. We'll try it again.
It looks like Portage is going to come out a man-to-man. We'll see how long they stay in it. We're going to see a lot of screens, a lot of checking off and switching and that kind of stuff defensively.
Smith comes out on the wing to get it. Now Barton to the elbow. Smith working against Wellman. Gilliatt down the baseline. Great drop to the front of the rim, but too strong with it was East.
Well, right idea, and you know what? Nobody uses the backboard anymore, Rob. That was one where in the old days a kid would have definitely just put it in the square and it would have been two.
Baker Lands pestering Clark on the perimeter.
Plainfield in their own version of a man.
Michael Wellman heading to Grace College next year. Puts up the three-pointer that's long off the back of the rim. And Baker Lands takes it away from Clark. Leaking out is East and finishes off the window.
Baker Lands had to fight for it, but he was able to secure it. And when he did, he very wisely looked down court. Look up. In fact, saw a guy in a white shirt, got him the basketball, easy bucket.
Dribble kill, Clark able to reset out between the circles. Clark gets a screen on the roll, driving kick. In the lane, tough runner is rebounded off the back of the iron by Smith. Leaking out again is East, and East, though, short-armed the layup. Offensive rebound, though, back out. Baker Lands' three is short. And Evans clears the defensive rebound for the Indians.
That's two layups that the Quakers have missed. And, again, that's 4 points. We'll see whether or not that comes into play late. Got to hit the layups, right?
Absolutely. Fading and shooting too strong is Clark. Gilliatt surveys into the forecourt, stop-and-go drive, and Gilliatt fouled on his way to the rim by Evans. Be interesting also, Jim, to track just visually and quickly into the game. Dennis Moran subbing in for the Indians. 6'2" sophomore. How many times the Indians get into the paint and then stop a drive just because they see the 6'8" Smith lingering at the front of the rim?
Yeah, those are always those things that don't show up necessarily in the stat book, but altered shots, altered possessions just by your mere presence.
Smith, so much length on the baseline, but too strong with the 13-footer. And Bryce Kobe, the freshman, his bounce pass too strong, out of bounds.
Yeah, just an unforced error there is one of those deals where I think he thought he was going to zig and he zagged, and nice bounce pass to no one.
Bryce Kobe playing in just his second varsity game. Getting a good test today, the freshman. Barton finds Smith on the baseline, and little flip over the front of the rim for Noah Smith.
Yeah, he actually, I think, was going to try to set that down, and then he lost control of it. And luckily for him, it found the center.
It took me back to a book I'm reading about the late 60s UCLA Bruins when the dunk was outlawed. Yeah. 4-0 the score. 3 minutes and change into this first quarter. Game number 3 of the Phil Cox Memorial Holiday Shootout. Corner 3 is missed by Kobe.
Smith is just cleaning the boards.
Gilliatt lost the handle on the spin. Wellman 1-on-3 attacks, and Smith denies him at the rim. Shot block hit the baseline, so it stays at the Indians' end. Boy, Smith has controlled things at the front of the rim defensively for the Quakers.
He certainly has. He's already shown his defensive presence there that you talked about. Got to be careful now on that swing down. You know, when you block the shot, you want to try to go straight up and try to keep it in play if you can.
Clark trying to get going. Layup rolls off the rim, and Smith up high to get another rebound. This time he brings it to the other end himself. Pull up from the foul line is short. And Amari Evans, second defensive rebound for Evans. The 6-foot senior guard has his pocket picked by Trey Barton, and a foul called. If that's Evans, that's 2 on the senior guard. It is indeed. Evans had just come back into the game, and Evans will head right back to the bench with his second foul. And we'll get our first look at Carter Kobe, the older brother of Bryce Kobe. Carter Kobe just a sophomore, so 2 underclass guards for Bryce Klaus. Seeing action here in this first quarter.
Portage in a little bit of foul trouble, but really only down 4, so they're still obviously very much in it. Just simply missed shots and turnovers so far.
Gilliatt, teardrop in the lane, dances off the front of the rim. Dennis Moran III handling top side for the Indians. Low scoring first quarter. Portage still looking for his first points halfway through the first period, and a running bank shot is good. And we've got a flop warning on Portage. I don't know about you, Jim, but that's the first time I've seen that called.
Me too.
In a high school game this year. That's a new rule. They put in play this year.
They had it in college for a couple years back, and then it actually ends up the next one's going to be, I think, a one-shot technical free throw if it's the same as the college rule.
Yeah, it's a team technical. Corner jumper is good at the other end by Noah Smith, and Smith has 4 of Portage's first 6 points. Three-pointer is long by Carter Kobe and rebounded by Noah Smith. Indians hustling back to stop the run out. And Noah Smith has it poked out of bounds by Garrett Clark.
Boy, Smith spends a lot of time above the rim.
Yes,
goes
he does.
Up there and gets it, and nobody else has a shot at it.
Chase Swafford is in, first sub into the game for the Quakers. 6'1" junior guard, and Caleb Hacker, 6'6" junior, is on for Portage. And a foul called on Portage. That's Michael Wellman. His first and the team's third.
So with 3 minutes to play in the first quarter, of course, the new rule last year, each team gets 5 personal fouls, team fouls per quarter, and then we go to a double bonus. So Portage has to be aware of that.
Smith dribble handoff to East. East twisting through the lane, short arm the layup. And a good traffic rebound by Moran.
Well, that one was contested, so I'll give him a bit of a break there. But, boy, if you're either team, wouldn't you like to have all the missed shots you had, just half of them go?
It certainly would alter the current 6-2 score inside 3 minutes. And Smith turns Hacker away. Hacker tried to bulldoze his way to the rim, and Smith was up to the challenge. But then Smith turns it over at the other end.
Smith down with 2 blocks.
Chris Arvanitis, 6'4" senior, the 3-year varsity player, stepping in off the bench for Plainfield.
Well, neither team can really get on track here, Rob, at least not in the first 6 minutes or so.
Not really had any kind of offensive flow at either end.
They've been getting shots, just haven't been going in.
Ball knocked free, but Wellman's first to get it in the backcourt for Portage. Hacker, tough catch in traffic. Able to get it back out to Wellman. Clark looking for his first 2, drives into traffic. Pass deflected. Hacker's got it. Wellman tries the right side 3 and hits. Michael Wellman, just his 4th three-pointer of the season. First one of the day for either team. We're inside 100 seconds to go, and it's 6-5 Plainfield. Smith tries at the other end and hits. And Noah Smith, 7 points in this first quarter.
Plainfield doing a really good job defensively, Rob, of just getting hands in the passing lane. That last possession for Portage, it must have been knocked away. The ball was knocked away 3 different times.
Wellman, good strong move. Too strong off the glass, however. And the rebound is cleared by Harper Baker Lands. Smith. Shovel to Swafford. Baker Lands on the wing catch, stepped out of bounds.
Boy, oh boy, lots of turnovers for both teams. We'll get the statistics here, I think, at each quarter. It's going to be interesting as both teams sub here.
Noah Smith checks out for Portage with a game-high 9 points as East returns. And Bryce Kobe returns for Portage to join his older brother Carter on the floor. Inside a minute to go, quarter one. 9-5 the score, Plainfield on top. Plainfield has made it very difficult for Garrett Clark to have any kind of space. You would anticipate that with Clark coming off a 31-point outing on Saturday. Ball knocked free again. There's another deflection, Jim. Baker lands attacks. Missed the contested layup, however, as Moran got in space to make that difficult. Clark has to get it over and does with a pass to Hacker.
Plainfield very aggressive defensively. I love to see the effort. Probably going to see some subs here. I don't think you can keep this pace up.
Final 10 seconds of the first quarter. Carter Kobe down the baseline, runner up and in. 4 points off the bench for Carter Kobe. And that'll put a cap on a low-scoring, sloggy first quarter of play here from Kokomo. Plainfield on top by 2. 9-7 our score. Second quarter right around the bend next. We'll have it for you on the other side. You're watching the Phil Cox Memorial Holiday Tournament 2024 edition on the ISC Sports Network.
Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't. Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Rob Brown, Jim Leisure back with you. We head to the start of quarter number 2. Plainfield on top of Portage 9-7. Portage will have the basketball to begin this quarter number 2. Cold shooting in that first quarter, Jim.
Yeah, Portage was 3 of 12 as ball's tied up here. Maybe not.
And we've got a foul and a technical foul then after the foul.
Yeah, a little extra kind of shove, little push there.
Let's see, Shane McConaughey and Carter Fletcher are going to sort this out.
Ball gets loose there. It's tied up. And he kind of lets them play for a second. Now watch the very end of it.
Let's see, Shane McConaughey will come to the table.
He pushes him there. So I think it's going to be a technical and a personal. So that's 2 fouls. They both count as personal fouls.
Yeah, a common foul and a technical foul, both going to Chase Swafford of Portage. So Clark shoots the technical free throws for Portage. And splits the pair, missing the first, hitting the second. Personal foul was on the floor, so a non-shooting scenario. It'll be ball out of bounds.
Now you were talking about the shooting. I mean, again, first quarter Portage 3 of 12 from the field, and Plainfield slightly better at 4 of 12. Both teams with a couple of turnovers. One had 3, I guess. Plainfield had 3 turnovers, and Portage had 2. It seemed like much more than that.
Noah Smith leads all scorers with 7 points for Plainfield. Carter Kobe with 4 points off the bench to pace Portage.
Smith also has 4 rebounds on his way to a hopefully double digit if you're a fan.
Ball knocked free on the deck, and Moran almost tied up and now stolen away. Here comes Gilead. Gilead picked up his dribble. Ball reversed Barton. Gilead back with it. Gilead has 10 assists in each of his last 2 games. Came in averaging over 6 a game. It's in the top 10 in the state. Baker lands his jumper is blocked by Clark, but Barton the offensive rebound to keep the possession alive for the Quakers. Smith fades from the foul line and hits. Boy, Smith really has it going early.
Well, he averages about 15, and so he's well on his way to that.
And he elevates and is so long that he's going to shoot over any defender that Portage throws at him today.
Yeah, just really difficult because, like you said, he does a nice job of getting great height, and then at the top of his shot as well, it's going to be really difficult to block.
11-8 the score. Collision on the screen, and the foul called. Let's see, Bill Forehand said the foul was on number 3. There's no 3 on the floor. He meant Trey Barton, did Bill Forehand. That's number 5.
Okay.
Trey Barton, not number 3. 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here. Portage calling time. We'll go ahead and keep it here. 6:18 to go, first half. We'll take this timeout to remind you that today's game brought to us by Coca-Cola of Kokomo. Welcoming all of our guests to Howard County this holiday weekend, Coca-Cola of Kokomo has been enriching the lives of residents of North Central Indiana since 1907. Coca-Cola of Kokomo, a proud partner of the 26 schools that make sure students stay hydrated in the classroom and on the field of play. Find out more at cckokomo.com. And we want to thank Nick Sale, the athletic director here at Kokomo High School, and Dean Hockney, our friend, the SID at Kokomo High School, for all of the different materials they gave us to get ready for this tournament. Top shelf as always. And the fine food in the hospitality room that you and I both took advantage of prior to airtime.
Yeah, I always say I didn't even know there were games. I just came for the food. And they said, look, if you're not doing anything, you mind calling a game? Sure.
Yeah. Tear yourself away. They told me tear yourself away from the fudge for a minute.
Push your way from the table, son.
Clark fades, short on the jump shot, and Smith has himself another rebound. That's 5 for Smith.
Well, he does a great job, too, of anticipating where the ball is going to come off the rim. I mean, it's one thing to jump real high. It's another thing to jump real high in the best spot.
Andy Weaver calls out the set he wants, has the ball in the hands of his point guard. Isaac Stead is into the game for the first time today. Gilliatt down the baseline, left his feet to make a pass, and a blocking foul is called. That's a dangerous proposition when one leaves one's feet to make a pass, especially on the baseline, but a blocking foul called on Bryce Kobe. That's Kobe's first and the first on Portage here in the quarter. Gilliatt lost the handle on that pass, and the ball goes out of bounds. Took his eye off the ball, did Gilliatt. And that's another Quaker turnover. 5:27 to go, first half. Plainfield leads 11-8. Quakers had scored almost 80 points per game in their last 2 wins. Have just 11 with 5 minutes and change to go in the half, but lead by 3.
I'll bet they shot better, and I bet they protected the ball a little bit better. You know, the
check and check on that.
The keys to any real basketball game are turnovers, offensive rebounds, and free throws.
Smith mistimed his jump as that ball took an extra hop on the rim. And then crashing in to try and help out his teammate was Colton East to grab the rebound, but East couldn't collect it. And off the end line, it stays with Portage. Michael Wellman catch and shoot 3 off the inbound long. Back tap by Garrett Clark to Carter Kobe. Keeps it alive for Portage. Carter Kobe down the lane. Noah Smith got a piece.
It's Noah's third block, Rob. You talked about it. You know, what kind of a defensive presence can you be? Well, you also talked about a young guy by the name of Lou Alcindor, the book you're reading. The Lou Alcindor rule, no dunking in college. And then, of course, Lou went on to become Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But every now and then you have a player that can change the game. And I'm not saying necessarily that Noah Smith is there, but he's certainly having a huge impact on this one.
At both ends. Arvanitis is back into the game for Portage, or for Plainfield rather. Carter Kobe picked up that last foul for Portage on the rebound. Harper Baker-Lands tries a three and hits. Second Plainfield three of the game. And the Quaker lead is 6, a game high. Portage still looking for its first field goal in this second quarter. Cold starts to each of the first two periods in this first half. Wellman went to tee up the corner three, and the ball slipped right out of his hands, out of bounds. It's been that kind of half for Portage.
Yeah, again, sometimes when it rains, it pours. Coach Klaus going to see if he can get some sides of his own in the ball game here.
Yeah, Mitrell Harpin stepping in, the 5'11 junior for Portage. Harpin spent some time at Bishop Knoll and Hammond as a sophomore, played at Bosco Institute last year. Smith shoots right over him and hits. Undeterred was Noah Smith with the new size into the ball game, and Smith's in double figures. Steal by Baker-Lands, and Lands is fouled at the rim by Clark. Well, you mentioned it, Jim. Brian Klaus just trying to find some combination of 5 in red to get his team some kind of offensive rhythm.
Well, and, you know, defensively, too, it looked like when they put Mitrell Harbin in, as they went immediately to a zone. So if he's going to stay in the ballgame, they're probably just going to park him in the center.
Wellman takes his first rest of the day for the Indians as Powell returns. Garrett Clark took that foul for Portage. Clark's first, team's third. Baker-Lands splits the pair, but Arvanitis sneaks in to grab the offensive rebound. Possession continues. East pull up in the lane and hits. It's a three-point trip for Plainfield. The lead is 11, and Brian Klaus has seen enough. Full timeout called. We'll go ahead and take a break as well. 3:27 to go, first half. The lead is double figures for the first time today for the team in white. 19-8 our score. Plainfield leads. We'll step out and come right back. It's the Phil Cox Memorial Holiday Tournament on the ISC Sports Network.
Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't. Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't.
Rob Brown, Jim Leisure back with you. 3:27 to go here in the first half. All Portage here in this second quarter. Or all Plainfield, I should say. As Plainfield has outscored Portage 10-1 to start this second quarter. Portage still looking for his first field goal. Portage went the first 4 minutes and 23 seconds of the first quarter without a point. A little half-court trap
Little
coming out of the timeout by the Quakers. Three-pointer on the way is long, but a good rebound in deep and just trickled off the rim for Harbin. Arvanitis gives to Smith, steps into a 14-footer, and Smith might have landed on a defender's foot as his jumper went long.
Well, a 1-3-1 half court, they're going to try to trap. It's nothing but traps.
And off the offensive rebound, Hacker draws a foul. That's Arvanitis who will take it. Arvanitis first. Team fourth. Hacker fouled in the act, shoots 2. First one no good. Gilliatt's back in for Portage, as is East. And Moran, the third, returns for Portage, rather. I should say Gilliatt and East return for Plainfield. One more for Hacker. That one's good. Hacker's first point of the ball game. 19-9 the score. Portage still looking for its first second quarter field goal, however. And as my partner mentioned moments ago, Portage sitting in a 2-3 zone, and Baker Lands hits his second three of the quarter. Both coming from that left wing.
Of course, that's the best way to beat a zone is to hit three, shoot over it.
Shoot over it and shoot them out of it. Harbin at the elbow. Tries the jump shot, no good. And East rips the rebound away. Smith gives to the trailer. Lands tries another three. This one from the left wing, right wing short. Gilliatt on the offensive rebound. Kick out, missed the three long, and Bryce Kobe fouled on the rebound. And I believe, by my count, that's team 5 on Plainfield. And the scorers table concurs. Fouls on East, his first, but the team's 5th. So Portage is in the double bonus the rest of the way. We're in year 2 of this rule, Jim, and I'm still getting used to it.
Well, I think the coaches are too, and the players. I think that when you have a team at 4 fouls, and there's 3.5, 4 minutes to go in a quarter, I think you need to attack. I think you need to start going to the rim. Give them a choice. Look, either you're going to foul me or I'm going to hit a layup. Okay, put the pressure on the defense, make them force them to make the decision.
And in case you are not familiar with what we are referring to, last year the rule was changed. No longer is the 7 team fouls and a half to get to the 1-and-1, and then 10 fouls is 2 shots. It's like the NBA rule. The 5th team foul at the end of in each quarter is 2 shots automatically, and then it resets after each quarter. No more 1-and-1s. Plainfield making Portage scramble off the zone, and it's the 3rd three that Plainfield has hit since Portage has gone zone, and the first 3 by Landon Gilliatt. It's a 25-10 ball game.
Well, that's what you said, shoot them out of it, make them get out of it. They did a nice job of spacing and then just basically reversing the basketball, moving it around.
25-10.
Catch it with an idea to get rid of it.
Harbin's flip shot in the lane is good. Harbin's had 3 good looks, and that's the first one that he's been able to put through the rim. 6'11" junior off the bench. What a look-away pass by Gilliatt, but Barton in amongst the trees rushed the shot and couldn't get it to go. Quick 3 the other way is missed, and Barton's got the rebound.
Boy, oh boy, layups, layups, layups. I think it was the Colts GM a few years back that was talking about his quarterback, and he was saying, Carson Wentz, he said, you got to hit the layups, right? You got to hit the layups. Those are the easy ones. Well, Plainfield has had a tough time hitting the layups today.
And still leads by 13.
I know.
Plainfield content to hold for 1 shot. Portage does have a foul to give.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're just letting it tick away. I mean, you're down 13. I think you got to go out and force the action. You need possessions.
10 seconds left in the half. Baker Lands open for 3. Got it. Boy, that was way too easy. 3rd 3 of the quarter for Baker Lands. Ball thrown away, and now Plainfield will have time. 0.6 of a second. That's enough time for a catch and shoot.
Yeah, it is. And, at this point, you got people in foul trouble, a couple fouls on them where you want to get them off the floor. You don't want them to get their 3rd foul with 0.6 seconds.
0.6 of a second. There's time to catch and shoot here. Gilliatt looking. Barton 3 off to the right, and that'll do it. So Plainfield with a 21-point quarter, make it a 19-point quarter. It's a 19-5 advantage for the Quakers in quarter number 2, and a 16-point halftime lead, 28-12, as we head to the break here at Memorial Gym in downtown Kokomo. We'll step out, come back. Halftime activities from this historic venue are next. You're watching the Phil Cox Memorial Holiday Tournament 2024 edition on the ISC Sports Network.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
Has it, leaps the man, still on his feet. Stevens lunges. Are you kidding me?
Champions of Marion County. Unbelievable.
Touchdown.
Living up to that last name. Wabash has the lead for the first time today. Said that was going to be a highlight reel. Oh, baby.
Yeah, you can celebrate after that.
Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't. Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't.
The drive, the take, fouled, and it goes!
Lobbing it to the back of the end zone. They're going to say it's a touchdown.
Left foot gets through. Goal for Vargas. Hamilton will score!
Hey there, my name is Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
And we are part of, actually, the entirety of, at least from an on-air standpoint, Query and Schultz on the ISC Sports Network. It's appropriately named. It's charitably award-winning. And Derek, now we venture into season number 5. Hard to believe.
5 of them. 5 of them. Can you believe it? 2 best buds, talking Colts, Pacers, Indiana sports, every Tuesday night, 7:30, ISC Sports Network, and on socials as well.
It is made possible, of course, by the people who watch and listen every single week. We are most appreciative. We look forward to season number 5.
Has it, leaps the man, still on his feet. Stevens lunges. Are you kidding me?
Champions of Marion County. Unbelievable.
Touchdown.
Living up to that last name. Wabash has the lead for the first time today. Said that was going to be a highlight reel. Oh, baby.
Yeah, you can celebrate after that.
Welcome back to Memorial Gym in downtown Kokomo. Rob Brown, Jim Leisure with you. Game 3 of this first round action in the Phil Cox Memorial Holiday Tournament. And we are at halftime. Plainfield leads Portage 28-12. Let's look at how the first half unfolded. And both teams struggling to score in that first quarter as Portage went 4 minutes and 23 seconds before it got its first field goal. But when it did get its first field goal, trailed only 4-2 at the 3:37 mark to go in the first quarter. It was a 9-7 Plainfield lead at the end of one as Portage got a bucket by Carter Kobe in the final seconds to close out the first quarter scoring. Plainfield, however, cranked up the defense and found some rhythm offensively in the second quarter. And, Jim, some of that Plainfield rhythm offensively came from behind the line as Portage went to a 2-3 zone. Plainfield hitting 4 3-pointers in that second quarter.
Yeah, again, it's about just doing your job. I mean, again, because Portage went with the big fella, Mitrell Harbin, 6'11", put him in there in the middle of that 2-3 zone and changed up the defense. Okay, so then we've got to change what we do too. They went back behind the arc, and this time they were a lot hotter in the second quarter than they were in the first.
Well, Plainfield averaging just under 5 3-pointers a game, hitting 4 in the third quarter, 3 from Harper Baker Lands. And again, Portage, much like in the first quarter, struggling to find scoring. The Indians had 3 free throws to start the second quarter, but did not get a field goal until almost 7 minutes were gone in the second quarter. There was just a minute to go in the half. before the Indians got their first field goal of the quarter, and had just one field goal in the quarter total. And it was a 5-point second quarter for Portage, as Plainfield outscoring Portage 19-5 in quarter number 2. And the 16-point lead here at the break is the biggest lead of the half for Plainfield. Plainfield led in that first half by Noah Smith with 11 points. Carter Kobe's 4 off the bench leads Portage. We're going to take a quick break, come back, look at some first half highlights. That's next on the ISC Sports Network.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
Has it, leaps ahead, still on his feet. Stevens lunges. Are you kidding me?
Champions of Marion County. Unbelievable.
Touchdown.
Living up to that last name. Wabash has the lead for the first time today. Said that was going to be a highlight reel. Oh, baby.
Yeah, you can celebrate after that.
Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't. Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't.
The drive, the take, fouled, and it goes!
Lobbing it to the back of the end zone. They're going to say it's a touchdown.
Left foot gets through. Goal for Vargas. Hamilton will score!
Hey there, my name is Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
And we are part of, actually the entirety of, at least from an on-air standpoint, Query and Schultz on the ISC Sports Network. It's appropriately named. It's charitably award-winning. And Derek, now we venture into season number 5. Hard to believe.
5 of them. 5 of them. Can you believe it? 2 best buds, talking Colts, Pacers, Indiana sports, every Tuesday night, 7:30, ISC Sports Network, and on socials as well.
It is made possible, of course, by the people who watch and listen every single week. We are most appreciative. We look forward to season number 5.
Has it, leaps ahead, still on his feet. Stevens lunges. Are you kidding me?
Champions of Marion County. Unbelievable.
Touchdown.
Living up to that last name. Wabash has the lead for the first time today. Said that was going to be a highlight reel. Oh, baby.
Yeah, you can celebrate after that.
Well, back at Memorial Gym in downtown Kokomo, Rob Brown, Jim Leisure with you. Let's take a look at some first half highlights as Plainfield leads Portage 28-12. And Carter Kobe with 4 points off the bench. One of the lone Plainfield bright spots is Michael Wellman hitting the lone Portage 3 in that first half. But really, Jim, Noah Smith, he was very impressive for Plainfield in half number 1.
Absolutely, on both ends of the court, has 3 blocks and a bunch of rebounds, 5 or 6 rebounds, and some big threes.
Harper Baker Lands, speaking of threes, got going with 3 of his own in that first half. And Colton East with a couple runners in that first half. Then again, take a look at a couple more Harper Baker Lands threes in quarter 2.
Well, this is them shooting over the zone. And you can see the zone try to rotate over, just too slow. Good job of reversing the basketball. I said it on the broadcast. Catch it with an idea to get rid of it quickly, and they do. And that leaves those open shots.
That last 3 by Baker Lands, that was the 3 that closed out the scoring in the first half. As Plainfield will have the basketball with a 16-point lead to start half number 2. Original starters on the floor for both ball clubs. Plainfield in white, Portage in red.
We'll see what, if any, defensive adjustments or halftime adjustments that Portage comes up with to try to cool off this hot shooting Quaker team.
Each team operating toward its respective benches offensively. Landon Gilliatt down the baseline. Gets to Smith.
Plainfield being very patient. Of course, they can afford to be patient when you're up 16.
East cut off at the foul line. Deflected pass. Gilliatt, plenty of time to work with it. Smith elevates on the baseline and hits. Boy, his jump shot is so smooth. Smith with a season-high 19 earlier this year. He's well on his way to that with 13 in the early stages of quarter 3. That 19 points came against Martinsville a couple weeks ago. Foul on Colton East away from the ball. His second team first.
Yeah, a little contact in the paint there, trying to front a cutter.
Portage has to get Garrett Clark going, Jim, if they're going to get back in this game. Clark rushed the shot. Moran, though, is there to grab the rebound, put it in, and draw a foul. First 2 of the game for Dennis Moran III.
You're going to see the replay here. Again, you're going to see the miss. You're going to see the offensive board. And they just go straight back up with it, get fouled.
Landon Gilliatt's second foul. Team second as well. Moran hits the free throw to complete the three-point play. Gilliatt, almost great bounce in traffic. Gets it back out, though. No space for Barton to shoot. Baker lands, drives. Missed the runner. Shot blocked on the putback, and a foul called. Wellman takes the foul.
I think you're going to see him just swat down. Just watch the replay here on this putback here. Just that little where he comes forward. If he goes straight up, probably no call.
Baker lands at the line, 76%er. Baker lands went 1 for 2 in the second quarter. Those were the only 2 Quaker free throw attempts in the first half. And much like in the second quarter, Baker lands splits the pair there. Baker lands with 11, and the lead is 16. 3 out front is on the back of the rim. Rebound is tapped, scooped up off the floor. Moran has it and tosses it in from 8. Make that Amari Evans with the bucket.
Good thing I'm scoring in pencil here. I can erase it.
Yep, that was Amari Evans that actually had the three-point play as well earlier in the game. Traveling called on Smith.
Well, Smith doesn't like it. Not sure exactly what he did here in terms of he's not sure. But again, it's just shuffle the feet. You know, sometimes you try to get that defender moving one way or the other and drag that pivot foot.
Arvanitis has stepped into the game for Plainfield, poked it out of bounds. Stays with Portage. (31-17) the score. Wellman backs into a double team, and Smith turns him away. That's a fourth block shot for Smith.
I was going to say, I thought it was 4. Yep.
Moran in the corner.
So if you're Portage, you don't want to panic here, but you want to score as quick as possible.
Clark, strong drive, threw it over the rim. And another rebound for Barton. Smith, cut off. Barton an avenue to the lane, stripped on his way up. Nice play by Moran to get a hand in. We talked during the break, we didn't get to it during the halftime show, but Barton at 5'8", the smallest starter for Plainfield, had 7 rebounds in the first half.
Well, we talked about Noah Smith and seeing where the ball's coming off. That shot's no good, but seeing where the ball comes off and getting to the spot, and that's what he's doing.
Barton's been able to kind of run into gaps and get those intermediate rebounds at the foul line. Wellman tries a 3 out front and hits. Second 3 of the game for Michael Wellman. leading scorer for this Portage ball club. A little bit of a burst for Portage and the Indian faithful that have made the trip down from the region. A little applause, a little noise. The Indians have a little burst here in the middle of this third quarter. Baker lands a good hard drive and score. 33-20. Three-pointer hit by Bryce Kobe. 2 straight threes, and Portage has made this a 10-point game after trailing by 18 early in the quarter. Barton, Arvanitis, drive and kick. Baker lands all by himself, but couldn't find the mark from the corner. Moran, drive and kick. Three-pointer good by Evans. And don't look now, Jim, this is a 7-point game.
Well, and again, I like the way that they're trying to get the ball down the floor quickly in the possession and get a shot, and that's what they're doing.
Full timeout called by Plainfield. Portage showing some signs here to cut this 18-point deficit to 7. Full timeout called by Plainfield. We'll take a break as well. 3:35 to go, third quarter. Back in a moment on the ISC Sports Network.
Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't. Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't.
Now the Phil Cox Memorial Tournament undergoing game 3. Plainfield leading Portage 33-26. Rob Brown, Jim Leisure with you. Happy you're with us. Hope you had a great holiday. We're heading into a holiday weekend. Take a look at this Portage run that has cut an 18-point deficit down to 7. 2 3-pointers during this run, actually make it 3. Amari Evans hitting 1. Michael Wellman and Bryce Kobe all hitting during this burst.
So Plainfield coach Andy Weaver takes a timeout, and they're going to talk about both offensively and defensively. Offensively, Plainfield was being very patient, which I liked when you got an 18 or a 16-point lead. But sometimes maybe you stagnate the offense a little bit. Maybe they're just going to go back to doing what they were doing earlier.
Smith looking inside. East curling off a screen, gives it back out to Barton.
You know, some teams, Rob, kind of struggle to play a slower game, and maybe these guys just need to run. They need to get out and move and screen and cut.
Baker lands, attacks the baseline, going right at Evans, fouled at the summit. Baker lands will shoot 2. Third foul on Amari Evans. Second on Portage, and boy, Harper Baker Lands has come alive with 10 in the second quarter, 3 thus far here in the third, make it 4. The first free throw finds the bottom.
Comes into the game 76%er from the line. Has struggled a little bit, missed a couple, but you could see the disgust on his face too.
And Baker Lands has split all 3 trips to the line. He has made 1 of 2, so 3 out of 6 on the afternoon, and the lead is 12. Make that 8, excuse me.
And he will tell you that is unacceptable.
Moran got an avenue down the baseline, reverse layup, no good. Wellman crashed in, couldn't find the bottom on the putback. Barton, corner 3, too strong. Wellman secures it, and Wellman fouled in the backcourt by East. Third foul on East, third on the Quakers here in the period.
You hate to see that foul there, 70 feet from the basket, but I think Plainfield's going to have a little bit of pressure here on this inbound. We'll see whether or not they actually stay in it or if it's just more of the, it's just a bothersome, be a pest token pressure here.
Isaac Steed's back into the game for Plainfield. Quakers led by 18 in the first minute of this quarter. Portage has pulled to within as close as 7. The deficit stands at 8. Evans couldn't find a driving angle. Plainfield really extending the defense. Moran cut off. Bryce Kobe, the freshman, operating top side. Clark. Ooh, they had Wellman on the slip and missed it. Plainfield bench applauding the defense. Evans drive and kick. Moran tucks it in, drives. Shot swatted at the rim, but Bill Forehand says Moran was fouled en route by Swafford. 3rd foul on Swafford, 4th on Plainfield. So now the Quakers are at the doorstep of the bonus, or being the penalty, I should say. Wellman goes right to the rim, but missed it. And a good traffic rebound that time by Swafford. But the pass up ahead stolen by Evans. Bounce to Moran, puts it up and in. That created by the steal from Evans, and it's a 6-point game.
Another steal.
Another steal by Evans. Evans will take this one himself to the basket. Flipped it up, it spun off. Rebound tap, Wellman's got it. Turned away by Smith, but a foul called. Oh my. All of this initiated by midcourt defense from Amari Evans.
On his foul, Noah Smith here, we'll see. Yep, right there, got him in the top of the head, I think.
Well, they called that on Lands. Harper Baker Lands on the reach down, I think, before Wellman elevated.
Okay, must have, yep.
But it does not matter because Plainfield is over the foul limit. Wellman shoots 2, first one no good. Wellman, a 62%er coming in. Second one on the way, good. And it's a 5-point game. 34-29. Inside a minute to go, 3rd quarter. Andy Weaver directing the traffic for his offense. Portage has 2 fouls to give, just 2 team fouls on the Indians. Plainfield over the limit. This has been a 17-point Portage quarter. Plainfield has scored just 6 points in the quarter. Now Portage a little chase on the perimeter. Gilliatt to Barton, down the lane, almost thrown away. Hook pass, Baker Lands run off the line. Pass deflected in the corner. Gilliatt for 3 short. Bryce Kobe's got the rebound. Wellman in the forecourt, and he traveled. Picked up his dribble, did Wellman at the timeline. Thought he had less time than he did.
That's exactly right. He thought he was going to have to shoot it, and then he looked up, and he saw that he had 8 seconds. He went, you know what, I'm just going to take it to the rim. Well, unfortunately, he
had already put his second hand on the basketball.
Yep. That is exactly what he did.
Plainfield has time. Gilliatt. Barton to Smith for 3. No good. And that'll do it. But a great bounce-back quarter by Portage as the Indians outscore Plainfield 17-6 and cut an 18-point deficit down to 5. And we have all sorts of intrigue heading into the final 8 minutes of this one from Kokomo. Stay with it. With us. We'll have it next on the ISC Sports Network.
Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't. Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Rob Brown, Jim Leisure back with you. We head to the final quarter. Plainfield leading. Portage 34-29. Portage with the basketball.
Portage with a great quarter basically on both sides of the ball.
Holding Plainfield to just 6 points. Portage shot 6 for 13 in that third quarter after shooting just 17% in the first half. Bryce Kobe finds Clark on the baseline. Clark in a double team. Out to Wellman for 3 off the front of the rim, and Noah Smith up high to grab his 7th rebound. Harper Baker Lands leads all scorers with 14 points. Michael Wellman has 7 to pace Portage. Noah Smith tucks it in, fades, shoot too strong with it. On the baseline, Colton East had the rebound but lost the handle. Amari Evans circles it back up and jams on the brakes. Now down the lane, accelerates, flips it up and in.
Nice soft touch at the rim. About a 3 or 4 foot, wouldn't call it a finger roll, but it was just a nice soft touch.
Little flip shot. It's down to a 3-point game. (19-6) is the Portage advantage here in the second half. Smith posting the smaller Moran, and the pass is over Smith's head. Evans has another steal. Evans down the lane, finger roll, trickled off the rim. Moran came in with a tip, missed it but got his own rebound, and then Moran is discarded to the floor and a foul called. Harper Baker Lands takes the foul, his second, and the team's first.
Well, I'll tell you what, how about these Portage Indians that, again, playing without their point guard? Maybe that was part of the problem early on. They seem to have made an adjustment here.
Clark has yet to find the mark. Clark has just 1 point in the game. 0 for 6 from the floor is Clark. Here's Bryce Kobe. Oh my! Bryce Kobe, the freshman, with 2 threes, and Kobe has tied the game at 34. The Indians have come all the way back from 18 down. And the Portage crowd that has made the trip making some noise. Gilliatt tries the 3, too strong. Evans picks the rebound up off the floor. Portage can grab the lead, what would be its first lead of the game. Plainfield has never trailed. Moran, time to measure a 3. Too strong. Rebound, though, is tapped to Evans, and Evans is fouled.
Well, it's only fitting that Amari Evans is the one who gets that rebound. He's been doing a great job of pushing the basketball up the floor, creating things, and then watching me just everywhere the ball seems to be.
That foul goes to Trey Barton, his second. Evans has a chance to give Portage the lead and does. That's Portage's first lead of the game after trailing by 18 early in the third quarter. Portage has come all the way back to grab its first lead of the game. Second free throw, no good. Smith up to get it. The rebound for Plainfield. 35-34. Evans has 8. Smith, finger roll up and in. And Plainfield back on top. I think you have to go that way every time now and at least run it through him, don't you, Jim?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's really your best offensive option, and he was hot early, and then they, nice job at playing defense. Boy, there was a grab.
And
that they
Gilliatt.
Oh, they called it. Okay.
Is fouled.
Yeah.
Gilliatt jumped the passing lane, got the steal. Knocked over our guy Dean Hockney's drink in the interim.
Yeah. Luckily, there's a hospitality room that can replace that.
Yep, there's towels down there as well.
Yep.
They did not call a foul there? Wow. Just a ball out of bounds.
Wow, I thought he called a foul. I thought he turned around and signaled a foul.
I did too.
There should have been a foul. There was a ton of contact.
Baker lands for 3 is short. And the Indians will watch the ball go off the inline.
I thought the official, because it was a late whistle.
Oh, they did call a foul, yes.
Okay, all right.
They did call a foul.
Okay.
Foul went to Amari Evans. Or no, check that. Dennis Moran, his first and the team's first.
Yeah, there was a late whistle, but a lot of contact. I think the official was going to kind of let it see how it played in terms of advantage, disadvantage.
Evans got in the traffic, picked up his dribble, in trouble, and a timeout call. Brian Klaus saw that coming and called time. 30-second timeout will stay here.
Really heads-up play.
We'll take time to remind you that today's game is brought to us by Coca-Cola of Kokomo, welcoming all of our guests to Howard County this holiday weekend. Coca-Cola of Kokomo been enriching the lives of residents of North Central Indiana since 1907. Coca-Cola of Kokomo, proud partner with 26 schools to make sure students stay hydrated in the classroom and on the field of play. Find out more at cckokomo.com. Well, Jim, this is the 8th oldest active high school gym in the state of Indiana. That data coming to us from my guy Lee Evans of the great Indiana high school basketball website Hickory Husker. Gym opened in 1949.
Yeah, like a lot of those gyms back then, it was shortly after World War II and putting people back to work, building large buildings, and gymnasiums was part of that plan. In Indiana, there was a gym war going on. Build the biggest gym.
You get to host the sectional.
Host the sectional.
1949, this historic gym built downtown Kokomo. Clark down the baseline, got the defender off his feet and drew the foul. That foul, though, called on the floor, off the pass, I should say, by Shane McConaughey. Baker lands, takes it, his third, team's third. Dennis Moran, the third, returns for Portage.
You know, talking about big gyms, too, you know, a lot of that must have been going on East Central Indiana because teams like Richmond and Newcastle and Muncie Central and Connersville.
I was looking at this list to see if you played in any of these lists, and the only one that I would maybe guess maybe Rushville.
I actually played in Rushville at summer ball, never played a varsity game there.
That was the only one that I thought maybe.
Yeah, I did play there in the summer.
Muncie Central, of course, our guy, our director, Charlie Hammock, he's all about Muncie and Muncie Burris for that matter. I'm sure he frequented that one, maybe passed through it. It's also on the list.
I think Rushville was built in 26 and Muncie Central in 28.
26. Muncie Central was 28, yep. Ball Gym and Muncie Burris was 25. Ball knocked out of bounds. So the complete list, in case anybody's wondering, the oldest gym was the Cave at Mishawaka.
Okay.
1924. Vincennes Reveille and the Ball Gym at Muncie Burris, 25. Rushville and Washington Catholic Birdcage, 26. Muncie Fieldhouse, 28. The Tech Gym, 29. Indianapolis Tech. And Kokomo here, 49. There's your top 8. Moran doubled near the bench and a foul called on Gilliatt. Now that is the 4th team foul on Kokomo. Gilliatt's foul, his 3rd, team 4. So the next Plainfield foul will put the Indians at the line. So that could become a critical piece of information.
Especially when you're this aggressive defensively.
Kobe, an avenue to the goal. Put it up, put it in. Boy, Plainfield was so aggressive trapping the perimeter. That left Carter Kobe an avenue to attack the rim, and he did just that on the finish. Portage is back on top.
Well, when you got 2 guys trapping the ball out by the timeline, that means somebody's open. And he was.
3 lead changes here in the last 2 minutes and change. And Harper Baker lands, turns it over.
Yeah, he's trying to say it was tipped, but I don't think it was. Again, I think out of the corner of his eye, he saw a white shirt. That white shirt moved, and then he didn't see it move, and he just went on ahead and threw the ball back that way. Nobody was there to catch it.
Boy, given how difficult it was for Portage to score in the first half and Plainfield sitting on an 18-point lead, who would have thought we'd be sitting here with the Indians owning a 1-point lead inside 3 minutes to go?
Yeah, I really didn't. I mean, I just figured it was going to be a game where Plainfield just had to take care of the basketball, make good decisions.
Moran jammed on the brakes, and the shot blocked, and then we got a flop warning. We've got a flop warning called. So now both teams have a flop warning in the scorebook. That's not a foul, that's a flop warning. So there's a flop warning in the scorebook on both teams. That's the first time I've seen that all year.
Me too. That's the first time I've seen it called, and to see it twice in this game.
Carter Kobe cut off on a drive, and Moran backs it out. Indians will run some time. Moran finds an avenue and gets to the rim and scores. Dennis Moran.
We had a buzzer going off here. I don't know if there was a time.
Well, the scorer's table is blowing the horn, and now the scorer's table's confused, thinking a foul was called on Gilliatt, but it was only a flop warning.
So they're getting that cleared up.
I give the scorer's table props, though, because instead of blowing the horn, they did the shave and a haircut 2 bits with the horn there. That's a little old-timer reference there.
Yes, sir. I got a story that's way too long to tell. It's clean. It's actually a cute story, but I can't tell it. It takes too long. But on the shave and a haircut 2 bits.
Moran has 7 points all off the bench, all coming here in the half. And Andy Weaver wants time. Full timeout. Full timeout.
Well, you can see the frustration on Coach Weaver. He's just basically frustrated with everybody.
Plainfield has scored just 11 points here in the second half. Portage has a 3-point lead with 1:53 to go. We'll keep it here. Plainfield calling the full timeout. What a comeback by Portage, flipping what was an 18-point deficit in the first minute of the third quarter to a 3-point lead with 1:53 to go in this ballgame.
And all without one of their starters, Sam Wellman. You said it right out of the gate. He's not dressed because of an illness, and we wondered, he's kind of the quarterback, the point guard, how they were going to run the offense. And honestly, they didn't run it very well in the first quarter. But I'll tell you who I think has really stepped up is Omari Evans. I mean, he's the guy that's driving the ball up the floor, creating some seams and just getting guys open. And when you don't stop him, he goes to the rim. He's done a fantastic job.
Well, and you talked about, in the first half, you talked about Plainfield and their ability to get deflections.
Yes, the hands were everywhere.
And Omari Evans, his hands have created offensive opportunities for Portage at the other end. Let's see if Plainfield can get an opportunity out of the timeout. Tried to run something backdoor for Harper Baker Lands, and the Indians were ready for it. Gilliatt faking, getting defenders off their feet, out to Barton. Baker Lands driving, leaning, shooting, scoring, and put him on the line with a chance to tie the game. Harper Baker Lands, the leading scorer in this ball game, has a chance to tie it up with 1:28 to go.
Well, they are going to count the bucket here. Nice job again, just going in and body leaning and getting it to go.
And that's Omari Evans' 4th foul.
Tell you what, you can't take him out with 1:28. Just got to say, son, be smart. Just try not to get a dumb foul. If you get an aggressive foul, I can live with that. Just try not to get something stupid and foul out of the game.
Baker Lands 3 of 6 from the foul line, but hits a big one there to tie it up. Our second tie of the ball game, both coming here in the fourth quarter. Timeout called by Brian Klaus. We'll keep it here.
It is a full
timeout. Portage had 2 remaining. That's one of the 2 remaining fulls that Brian Klaus had at his disposal. And we'll stay here. Brian Klaus, the Portage grad, 1994 in his 4th season. Coached 9 seasons at Hanover Central, who we saw here in the previous game. In case you're just joining us, our first game today, Kokomo winning 90-70 over Hanover in a game that saw the Wildcats hit 17 three-pointers. That's correct, 17 three-pointers. And Kokomo advancing to the winners bracket semifinal tomorrow at 11 o'clock, where they will take on the Maryville Pirates, who defeated Hanover Central in the game prior to this one, 60-52. So New Haven and Hanover Central will play later today in the consolation round game. That game will tip at around 6 o'clock tonight. And following our game here, about 20 minutes after the conclusion of this one, Jim and I will still be with you, whether you like it or not.
We're like that guest that wouldn't leave.
That's right. That's right.
The
holiday guest who will not leave.
Yeah, keeps borrowing your albums, making long-distance phone calls.
That's right. We'll have Warren Central and Greensburg. All right, out of the timeout. Portage with the basketball. We're tied at 39. Keep in mind, Plainfield is at the foul threshold, so a foul by Plainfield, whether it's a shooting foul or not, will put Portage at the line. And another drive to the rim by Moran III. Dennis Moran III with 9 off the bench, all here in the second half.
And I think the foul situation impacted that, Rob, because nobody really wanted to take a chance to stop him. They knew that if they got body contact, it was going to be 2 shots. And they said, you know what, let's see if he can hit the runner. Well, he did.
Portage back on top. Inside a minute to go, and Andy Weaver calls time.
This will be a 30. Now, here's again, both teams have 2 timeouts left after that one, I believe. So, again, it's going to be a situation where we're going to be taking timeouts for offensive situations, defensive situations. If you've got a player that's a defensive player, put him in now if you're on defense. If it's an offensive situation, next dead ball or timeout, put him in then.
I think Portage has 1 timeout left.
Okay.
So, yeah, Portage has 1 full left.
All right, so the board then is incorrect.
Plainfield has.
There it is. I'm reading it backwards. You told me. You warned me before the game.
Yeah, they flip them on us.
Yeah.
Plainfield has has a 30 and a full. So
yes.
Plainfield has 2 timeouts remaining.
Yeah, fantastic scoreboard here at Memorial Gym, but it's somewhat it's not hard to read by any stretch. It's just
the numbers are in the wrong place.
Yes.
They're in a place we're not used to.
Correct.
Gilliatt's back in the game to man the controls for the Plainfield offense. His team down by 2. East. They get it right to Smith. Smith backing, jump hooking, and scoring. That's where they wanted the basketball to go, and they got the shot they wanted, did Plainfield. East found Smith, and Smith ties the game.
Well, not a bad option to go to. He's your big man.
Portage has a timeout. Inside 30 seconds to go.
Again, Plainfield very careful here. You can't foul. You got to defend, but you can't reach in. You can't lean.
Evans out between the circles with 10. Tie score. Brian Klaus directing traffic. Evans driving, finger rolling, scoring. Timeout, Plainfield. Amari Evans has put Portage on his back in this second half. Timeout, Plainfield. They may put some time back. They will put 6/10 back up. Full timeout call by Plainfield. We'll see. They're going to put 3.1 on the clock. But what we do know for certain that Amari Evans has given Portage a 2-point lead with 3 1/10 seconds to go. Oh my, Amari Evans has been titanic here in this second half.
Looks like Portage is going to bring in the freshman Bryce Kobe. This is the defensive replacement. Yeah, how about Evans? I mean, again, we wondered who was going to step up. Well, there's your answer. Kid averages about 8.8, and I've got him for about 13. But, more than the 13 points has just been the way that he's ran the offense and forced the action.
43-41. Portage has come all the way back from 18 down early in the third quarter to lead this one by 2. And 3.1 seconds away from pulling off what will be a massive comeback.
Not going to defend the inbound. That's a choice coaches make. There's pros and cons to both.
Portage has fouls to give, 2 fouls to give also. Into Baker lands, and Clark gives one of the 2 fouls. That's a smart foul.
Yep. Used about a second and a half.
That's only the team's 3rd foul, and Andy Weaver calls his final timeout. For Plainfield, it's a full timeout.
So Coach Weaver probably knows that if you inbounds the ball in this backcourt, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to let a second or 2.
30-second timeout. That's all That's all Plainfield has left.
But if you inbounds it, but 70 feet from the basket again, they're just going to wait a second and they're going to foul the kid and give the foul. He's going to have to inbounds it down in the front court.
So 30-second timeout. That's all Plainfield has left. But with 1.6 seconds to go, Portage has a foul that they can still give with 3 team fouls and not put Plainfield on the line.
Correct. That's why I don't think you can inbound it down here, because they're going to do the same thing. They're going to let a second or so go off, foul the kid, ball game's over.
And the ball will be put in at the foul line extended in the backcourt.
You got to throw it down there.
Gilliatt, 1 dribble, 3 out front. It took a lap and spun out. Oh, my, that would have won the ball game. Oh, Gilliatt got a clean look out front. It took a lap and twisted out. And Portage wins the ball game 43-41. Oh, my, Jim.
Just like you said, I love that. Just took a lap, ran a lap around the track and decided to fall out. Hey, congratulations to Coach Klaus and his Portage Indians. How about coming back from an 18-point deficit in the second half to pull this win out with your point guard on the bench?
So Portage outscores Plainfield in the second half 31-13 to improve to 5-1 and advance to tomorrow's semifinal round in the winner's bracket, while Plainfield will play again later on tonight at 7:45 in the consolation round. What a first game you and I had here, Jim. We'll have another one here in about
give or take 20 minutes. I mean, they like to keep them going here.
We're going to start here at about 4:15, so we'll be with you in about 35 minutes or so. But some final thoughts on this one, Jim.
Fantastic. Again, just a great basketball game. It was starting to get ugly early, and credit the Portage Indians, who never gave up and continued to battle and just chipped away and came up with a victory.
Well, Harper Baker lands and Noah Smith with 17 points apiece for Plainfield. But I think, Jim, our player of the game, Amari Evans, the only double-figure scorer for Portage. He had 10 points, but 6 rebounds and 4 steals, and almost all of those numbers came in the second half during their comeback.
Yeah, and it seems like every time, like you said, that he did get a steal, he was able to take it down and turn it into points, either him himself or one of his teammates. Just a fantastic effort by him, and I think they had him for 3 assists. Seemed to me like he had more, but hats off to him for the senior. Really stepped up.
I want to thank our great crew working with us today. Charlie Hammock, our director, Aaron Van Wolde on our camera. For my partner, Jim Leisure, I'm Rob Brown. Again, we'll be back with you for Warren Central and Greensburg, the final game of our first-round game, 4 first-round games here in the Phil Cox Memorial Holiday Tournament. Again, tipping off at around 4:15, so in about 35 minutes or so. So come back with us then. We'll be back with you at that point. Until then, this is Rob Brown on behalf of our entire ISC Sports Network team saying so long for now.
Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't. Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly.